folks, hopefully you can see me okay here. I don't have the lights on, it's getting kind of dull. So, first things first, free coffee, thank you. He didn't stick around to let me wave to him this time, so if you watch my videos, thank you. So we had some storms come through this morning, and I went out late this afternoon. I went out, and it was still pretty heavy overcast, and it was kind of dull. So my lights were working. I would have used my lights today, but it wasn't the case. So yeah, thinking I have two things left to do with the monster: the rear fender, and figured out why my lights aren't working. So I'm kind of torn between which one to do first. We're kind of going into our rainy season now, so I'm going to need the fender. I won't be able to drive when the roads are wet. But at the same time, you know, it's getting dark sooner. Time change is going to happen soon. So, you know, I kind of need my lights working, right? So I think I'll probably do the fender first, because that should, I say should, be a straightforward, more or less simple job. The lights might be a two-part process, because if I replace the plugs and that doesn't solve the problem, I gotta test the old controller to see if it's actually the controller that's the problem, and if that doesn't work, then I gotta hook the wires up to a switch, which means running more wires up through the frame. It's gonna take a little bit longer. I'll probably do the fender first. Both of them need to be done kind of right away. That's all I have left to do with the monster, and then everything's good to go, right? I'm finished everything finally. That's assuming nothing else goes wrong. So all my testing has worked out. My well's holding. Everything's going good. I had a dirt road today for the first time. Not as bumpy as they used to be, because all that fresh gravel is now hard packed, and you know, it's kind of like driving on a bumpy paved surface. So not really much of a test, but you know. So it's good. It's not as comfortable as it was, for sure. It's a bigger change than I thought originally. But what I am surprised by is how much that affects my steering. Because as it's been so far, the worst of it is if I go up a curb. Because it doesn't absorb that shock right away, because the spring can't compress. So the whole scooter rocks. I just lean forward and let the seat move without me, right? So that really hasn't been much of an issue, but right now the problem is normally that spring would compress and then it would stretch back out again, and the scooter would straighten out with it. But because that's not happening, that wheel comes up and the scooter's still off on an angle, and then once past that bump, the tire will actually spin, because it's actually pulling the tire off the ground, because that spring's just not there to absorb that. So the whole scooter has to, and it's a big heavy scooter and it's tall, so it takes a while for it to catch back up. But it's holding. It's good for now. I can drive it. That's the main thing. So everything's good that way. So I'm ready for my fall colors tour. I'm ready. I kind of want it now before anything else happens, but at the same time, I don't want to rush summer away. So today is 21st. I'm not sure if autumn starts tomorrow or the day after, but summer's over. Now, some of the trees are just starting to turn color now. They're starting to lose their green. So I've noticed in the summertime, spring and summer, that the flowers are really bright colors, very vibrant. And in the fall, the colors are more of a pastel. Never really noticed that until this year. I've been kind of watching them. And I'm surprised how fast the summer went by. Like, I spent all summer working on this, and I don't know, it just zoom gone. But I noticed the goldenrod. The goldenrods are one of the last plants to flower in the summer, and once I see those, I'm thinking, oh, fall's coming. So, but there's lots of them around now. But as usual, not looking forward to winter. But all of my heavy labor work is done. So, as long, even if my illness comes back now, then I should be able to finish everything that I still have left to do. So I wanted to get all that out of the way before that happened, because it's coming soon, and I can almost feel it. Coming. Because I had no energy now. I'm just drained. I feel like I'm exhausted all the time now. So it's coming. I went out yesterday. I went down the pathway beside the construction where I used to go down at the river before they filled in the floodplain, and they built landscaping all around it, and they actually paved part of that laneway where the worst erosion was there. That's kind of nice, but they kind of messed up the end of it too. I'm guessing where the bulldozer was turning back and forth, they ripped the gravel up. It's pretty bumpy there, but it's still accessible to me. So I'm okay with that. I guess that's really all I got. Like I say, my welds are only temporary. They're reversible if I need to, but I gotta wait till spring or next summer, and hopefully have some period where I have some money where I can actually get somebody to attempt to get that bolt out for me, and then I can go back to the nice softer suspension. Losing my voice here. So I think that's all I really had to update on. Yeah, I'm kind of happy, I guess. Disappointed that I couldn't fix things properly, but happy that I got everything done and I can actually drive. Well, I guess that's the point. I can actually drive it now. So I guess that's it. Thanks for watching.